Do you want to know how amazing people connect? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie.
Thanks for connecting. And if you like what you hear, please share.
Special thank you to our sponsors of Marketing with Russ, Healthcare Amplified, the Alzheimer's Association, and Carrie Whitlatch and Farmers. For more information on Healthcare Amplified and their upcoming summit, go to healthcareamplified.org/summit. And for more information on the Alzheimer's Association and how to give to this amazing organization, go to alz.org. For information on Carrie Whitlatch and Farmers Insurance in Lebanon, Oregon, call 541-258-3995. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. I am so glad you're here today. Today is going to be an awesome show as we frame and get everything ready to go. There we go. I am so glad you're here. You know, what a blessing. Mondays are amazing. I mean, I don't know how you feel. There's so many people that feel like, Monday, because I just came off an amazing weekend. I did. We had a restful, wonderful time with friends and just got away. It was a blessing, but I am excited for the opportunities and possibilities that are before me this week. You know, every week there's new opportunities, new possibilities. It all depends on your mindset, how you look at it. And I am looking at it as an amazing opportunity. So I'm so thankful that you're here to join in with me on this Monday morning, and it's going to be great. It's going to be great. I can already see people joining in the comments. Appreciate that. And, we are all about amazing people and connection here. And, the theme of this show is how amazing people connect. And that's what I want to tell you this morning is that we have Harriet on this morning. That is an amazing, you're going to love her. She's going to be on shortly and tell you all about what she's up to. We're going to have an amazing discussion, but you don't want to miss it. And so share this with your friends and let them know we're going to be on because they don't want to miss it either. You can tag them or just share this out right now. Hit that share button. Would love for you to do that and just get it out there and let people know that Marketing with Russ is on. And we are here every Monday and Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for your listening and viewing pleasure. It also becomes an audio podcast after the broadcast. So not only can you watch it on replay, and if you are, by the way, thank you. And please put #Team Replay. You can also listen to it on your favorite audio podcast, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, whatever you love to listen to. It is there for your listening pleasure. And so just want to tell you how much we appreciate you being here today. And I love to connect. And not only is this show about how amazing people connect, but I love to connect. So go to russhedge.com. russhedge.com today and connect with me. I would love to inspire and encourage you. I am an inspiration specialist here to inspire and encourage you to live a purpose-driven life of significance. What do I mean by that? I want you to be a world changer. I want you to be a difference maker. I want you to do the amazing things God created you to do. And so today, if I can encourage you, if Harriet can encourage you, we would love to do that and just make it an awesome day for you. Make it a great start. When you start with Marketing with Russ every Monday and Thursday, it's a good positive way to start your day, I can tell you. So, and I love to be blessed by my guests that come on. Just an amazing, amazing way to start my day. Also, would love for you to subscribe on YouTube. And how do you do that? Well, it's real simple. You can open a separate window right now, go to marketingwithruss.live and subscribe today. And I'll tell you what benefits you get for that. As I take a sip of water, you get all the past amazing content and the past amazing guests we've had on here on Marketing with Russ, on Russ Reels Live, and on the Experience Live with Russ and Scott. All my live streams are on there. It's amazing. The only one you have to go to another place to get is on Instagram. We have the Experience Backstage on Wednesday morning, 6:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And in order to get that one, you actually have to go to Instagram. Everything else is there on YouTube. So amazing, amazing people and amazing content. Who needs to binge Netflix? You can binge Marketing with Russ this weekend and watch all the past amazing guests I've had on all in one spot. Also, we broadcast this on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So you can also find it on replay on LinkedIn and Facebook as well. It just isn't all in one place there. So it's easier on YouTube, but those places are amazing. Whatever your favorite social media is, go there. That's the best way to do it. So anyway, just so thankful that you guys are here. And again, just as a reminder, share this out, tag your friends, let them know. Whoop, whoop. Marketing with Russ is on with Harriet. They're going to want to do that. Also, okay, one last thing here. I think this is it, but we'll find out anyway. Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose, my amazing book to encourage you on Amazon, any online booksellers, or you can just go to marketingwithruss.com and buy it there. Also, have come out with volume 1 of Rattled Awake, international bestseller, overnight, #1 in this category in Amazon. You can also get that on Amazon, as well as my workbook for Befuddled, and got more books coming up. Very excited to be part of 2 other projects that will release in the next couple months. So excited about that. So those 2 projects, just keep tuned for what's going on there. I'm excited, and I'll tell you more later on. So with that, I think we have done all we need to do. We're going to get Harriet in the room. She's ready to go. Here she comes. Good morning, Harriet.
Good morning, Russ. What a nice intro to everything that you're doing as your inspirational specialist that you are, which I've never heard that term, and I love it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that so much. It means so much to me, and I appreciate having you on because really, when we talked, you really inspired me in all that you're doing. I've been going through a cancer battle over the last year, and praise God, I'm coming out the other end just healed and well, which is great. I mean, I've got a lot of things that I'm still dealing with, but it's getting better all the time. And I know that you have a story there. I'm not going to tell your whole story, but you're doing so many amazing things that I want to hear a little bit about you. So give everybody a snapshot. Who is Harriet and what are you up to?
So who is Harriet? Well, I'll start with where you kind of went, which is cancer. And I'm a cancer survivor, but I like the word thriver better. And I'm coming on about 1.5 years from non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And I feel wonderful and I feel energized and I'm on a healing journey, which I now realize is forever. I had thought at the beginning when I was finished with my treatments that, the first year is the rebuild year. And then after that is whatever. And I realize now with all the different things I'm inputting to try to minimize recurrence, this is a lifelong journey of healing. So I just want to say that. Who am I? I'm a clinical social worker. I'm a therapist. I'm a grandma. I love traveling. I love reading. I love inspiring and encouraging people. Let's see, I love ballroom dancing. I love a lot of things. But if I really want to get to the intrinsic part of who I am, I'm curious, I'm a learner, and I love personal growth. I think we're all here on this planet to basically do all that we could do. And as I like to say, we all have our stuff, we all have our challenges and the bad and the adversities, but it's all about what we do with it, because no one leaves this earth unscathed, but we still want to make it the best life possible. We still want to have the most rich, amazing life. So and that's the name of my book, How Do We Live Well Despite? How do we live well despite whatever comes our way? Challenges, problems, whatever. That's kind of been my life theme, living well despite.
I love that. I love that. Okay. So I want you to dive in a little bit to your book and give us some more information about that, because that whole theme, my next book is called Life Happens and Then You Choose. And that is my theme to life is happening. And despite of life circumstances, your circumstances do not define you.
Right.
You define you. God defines you and you define you. You do not have to be what people say you are or what your circumstances say you are. So dive into that a little bit and tell us a little bit more about your book and how you're thriving despite things going on.
So before I talk about my book, which is kind of behind me, if anyone can see, it's under this sign, Life is in Session. It's here, Living Well Despite Adversity. That's my book. But I need to say something before I get into the book, because I always have my quote that I live by. And it's by Viktor Frankl, who was a logotherapist, a psychiatrist in Vienna. He went through numerous concentration camps. And when he came out, he wrote, to me, the most life-changing book that I think every human needs to read on this planet. It's called Man's Search for Meaning. So he's got numerous amazing quotes, but this one is exactly to your point, Russ, about choice. Everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of his freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. And to me, that's what it's all about. I mean, I read this book for the first time when I was in grad school at around 21. And it was like the whole idea that it's not what happens to us, but it's how we respond to what happens to us, was life altering, because I think many people really define their life by what happens to them, and they become victimized by it, and they suffer tremendously from it, and they spiral down. And so I think this is a very huge life-changing concept, that it's always how we respond to what happens to us. We don't often have control over the things that come our way, but we always, always, always have control over how we respond to the bad that comes. And that's really the difference between becoming victimized by it. Yeah, we could be victims to a circumstance, absolutely. But do we remain victims is all on us. And that's the power of the mindset and the power of choice.
Exactly. And this is why we had such an amazing conversation before, besides the fact we both love ballroom dance, the amazing idea. So we are just like on the same brain waves. Life happens and then you choose. You are not victim to your circumstances. Chuck Swindoll says life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it.
Right.
You need to have already decided up front how you're going to live your life, because you know what? Life gets messy. I wrote an entire LinkedIn. By the way, I put out a LinkedIn newsletter every Monday. And if you're not subscribed to it, and you guys aren't tuned into that, you should. I did one on Life Gets Messy last week. There's an amazing one coming out today, every Monday. But the whole idea is life gets messy. Garbage and yucky stuff happens to us. Sometimes life just sucks. It does, what's happening. But it's where we go from there, what we do with that, and how we perceive that. Because life happens and then we choose. In spite, like you're saying, in spite of your circumstances, you are not defined by your circumstances. You can do amazing things in spite of that. And I love that. I got to get a copy of your book.
So, thank you. It's on Amazon. So just to talk briefly, my book came out about 6 years ago, and it's a compilation of 36 interviews of people who have transcended their challenges, their adversities. So I interview basically with the same questions: how you coped, how you've grown beyond, like that. And then I have my own little spiel after each interview. I am, as I said, I'm a clinical social worker. I have a private practice. My area is grief and loss, and really about taking whatever is we're going beyond, and that's the transcendence part. So I happen to love memoirs. That's my favorite genre of books. So I found some amazing people online, actually some well-known people as well, and they were graciously accepted, and I interviewed them either by phone or blogging, not blogging, sorry, email, and then I published it in a book. And it's basically coping skills of all different challenges. I call it a diversity of adversities, from addiction to suicide to cancer, to a quadriplegic. I mean, it sounds morbid, but it's very not morbid. Again, because of how people have taken what happened to them and transcended, really. And transcended doesn't mean you're upset, but you're taking and turning it into something better. I call it, as a lot of people do, from pain to purpose, or as we say, how can we alchemize? How can we transform something broken into something beautiful, albeit different, but beautiful? And I just want to say, because I love this, there's a Japanese concept called kintsugi, and that's where it started as a pottery, an art form, where when there's a piece of pottery that's shattered, and you fix it by putting gold lacquer along the cracks, and that becomes a new piece of beautiful pottery because it's gold lacquer, and sometimes you don't even know that it had been broken. So they take that into a philosophy of life, and the concept of kintsugi being, we are all broken in various ways, but we could transform that than before, and certainly be whole.
So we are losing you a little bit, Harriet. But what you're saying is amazing. So I'm going to kind of recap, I think, what you said, because some of that cut out. But reshaping and adapting to our environment and our circumstances, and things that are happening to us, and reframing that mindset and the way we are looking at things, because purpose is so important in your life. When you go from pain to purpose, like you said, and the challenges you have, you're able to take your purpose and make something beautiful out of it. Just like you said with the pottery, that is an amazing analogy, because we're going to have cracks and problems in our lives. It's going to happen, right? And so we need to take that and move that to a positive thing. And I'm a firm believer that God works all things for the good, and we're going to have trouble in this world. That's just the way it is. But you know what? That doesn't mean we have to sit in it. We can go through it, learn from it. Just like you said you're curious and a learner and all of that. I love that, because you're learning through the challenges of life, and that's how we become better. That's how we become stronger, right?
Right. And what you said is so true. We don't want to sit in it. We're all going to sit in our stuff at least at the beginning, while we process the pain and the sadness, and we need to do that. But the key is, do we stay there? And how long do we stay there? I mean, we could stay there, right? I mean, someone loses a spouse or a child, God forbid, of course you're going to have grief. And it could take a very long time to begin to even see tiny bits of sunlight. And no one's judging that. But again, it's how long do we stay there with ourselves under those covers? That's really the key. And that's very important to really take in, because we want to honor our feelings, all of our feelings. We have to. We call it permission to feel. We're given a whole palette of emotions, and none of them are bad. maybe it's sometimes what we do with them. I mean, if we're angry and we use it negatively, that becomes bad. It's the action that could be bad, but no emotions are bad. Anger, frustration, jealousy, they're all there for a reason. And we honor them and we welcome them. And that's the way they lose some of their grip on us, by acknowledging them, then slowly let go. If I can use that word, let go.
Well,
but
that's perfect.
You said that I froze before. Did you hear the piece about kintsugi? I don't know where you lost me at. Did you hear that?
Go ahead and say it one more time.
The kintsugi being the Japanese concept of shattered pottery, where they then take the piece that's broken and put gold lacquer, and then you have something beautiful albeit in a different way, but it's whole again. And that life concept is beautiful because, like I said, I don't want to repeat myself. I don't know where you lost me, but we're all broken in some ways. But the key is to look at ourselves and say, yeah, I went through that horror, but that doesn't mean I'm broken forever. Maybe I was broken then. I was broken during my cancer treatment. Oh my God. I mean, during chemo, it's horrific. I lost so much weight. I didn't even think I'd survive it. I was very broken. But then afterwards starts the rebuild, right? And whether it's literal or figuratively, if it's just even mentally, how do I take what I've been through and use it well? Because otherwise, I once heard someone say, what a waste of adversity. We don't want to wait. What a waste of a lousy thing we got. Let's use it well. So that's my thing now, is to pay it forward. I feel like I have a renewed gift on life because my life was spared. As of now, I have clean PET scans, but we all know that this happened in the blink of an eye. So every 6 months I have my PET scan. So my last one was clean. So I feel like, okay, I have a renewed 6 months here till the next one, till I'm nervous again. But what do we do with that? And I just feel so grateful that my purpose, if you talk about purpose, is I want to pay it forward. I'm here for a reason, like you say. That's my big thing too, is purpose. And how do I use it well? Use the pain to do something well with it. Not just, let's just go back to life as it was. No, that's not good enough for me. You want to do more with it.
Well, and I think Michael is saying it right there. Harriet is so wise, and I agree. And this is why it's okay. It's okay to be wise. We should all be wise, which means we're taking what we learn, even through adversity and through challenges. We're growing and becoming better, and we're using it to positively affect others. And I it was a real journey for me, and I wrote about it in Rattled Awake, and I'm in an upcoming book called Perspectives on Cancer with Tim Sohn, volume 2 of his book. And it's all about blessing others through the journey that I had to go through, or I'm still going through, because it is a lifetime journey. People say, oh, that's so horrible. Who would ever want to go through that? And it is a lot of horrible things. You're right. But when you look at it, that you're able to touch, and God uses me in amazing ways to inspire people, encourage them, right? To let them know that in spite of adversity, no matter what they're going through, cancer, some of their illness, family problems, whatever, life problems, you can come out the other side better than before. You can come out the other side. You may have some physical things. You and I would agree that as far as the cancer goes, the it's a lifetime journey, not just for the effect it had on your life, but effects it has on your body. Coming out of the treatment, I'm a type 1 diabetic now because of the treatment. I have digestive issues. I have things in my body I'm going to probably have to deal with most of my life. And so those are things that, again, are reminders. I'm alive. I can live with those. I have to learn a new life rhythm, but there are things that I can utilize also to continue to encourage people, because you know what? Life is wonderful, amazing, beautiful. I was just talking to a friend, and I walk every morning, watching the sunrise behind me and the beautiful leaves all around me, thinking, what an amazing life we have. God has given us just amazing creation, and I'm thankful. And, and I can share that with other people, and I can pay it forward, like you say, and just continue to bless other people. And I just love what you're all about, Harriet. You just get me inspired.
Thank you. So do you. And I want to say, I want to touch on something that's also, to me at least, very important. I said before, I'm a lifelong learner, so I'm always taking classes, but I studied positive psychology. I did a certificate program in that. I also did a long distance learning program in Viktor Frankl's program. I mean, he passed, but he has a long distance learning, and I studied his logotherapy, which you'll like, is the therapy of meaning and purpose. That's really what logos, meaning and purpose. So when I was actually going through my treatments, not this past summer, last summer, I tried very hard to incorporate some of the concepts and specifics that I would teach others, that I would use with my clients, certainly in terms of positive psychology. And I was very intentional about it, because some of the concepts, I mean, it's not rocket science. It's just, can we do it? And are we mindfully putting it into our lives, as opposed to something that's just out there esoteric? So things like gratitude, keeping a little journal. And I would write things down, even if I felt sick. And I would say, I got to water my plants today. I got to sit out on my deck. I got to walk around the block and see some pretty flowers. I was very mindful of incorporating certain practices that are very crucial. And one of them, I mean, probably the biggest one, is gratitude. And so it could sound funny to people and say, what are you grateful for? Look at the horror you're going through. But you always have to look for the little things. And if I ever wrote a book, which my grandson wants me to, he's trying to encourage me to do, he's so cute. And he'll say, you gotta write another book, Safta. That's grandma in Hebrew. And you gotta help other people. And I say, in my mind, if I wrote a book, I'd have each chapter very small for every different miracle. And I had a lot of miracles that I went through, that I think about, starting with my horrible teeth, that I said, oh my God, how am I going to deal with going to a dentist? My oncologist was pretty emphatic. You cannot go to a dentist. It's a germ infested area in the mouth, so you can't do it. And I was just so stressed out that my teeth will get infected, and how will I do it? And I lost a lot of weight. How will my body succumb? And I'll say something else that I don't know, may sound funny to some people, but for me, it was very big. I'm Jewish. I observe the Sabbath, and one of my Fridays, I would be up at Columbia, which is in the city, and I live out on Long Island. And that's the day people go out to the Hamptons. And it would be like, oh my God, we're going to sit in so much traffic. I'm going to be late to light my candles, my Sabbath candles. And lo and behold, I never, ever came late one single Friday night to light those candles. And I look at that and say, that is just like someone else is up there pulling the strings here, because that's just too much. And a lot of miracles. I can't even say every one, but those were some of the biggies. So within the bad, we always need to look for the good, however small it is. I went through every treatment successively, meaning I didn't have to stop because I got an infection or my blood counts were too low. So many people I spoke to had to take breaks. I had mouth sores, but I was able to deal with it with these delicious smoothies. And it was bad, but I dealt with it. I mean, there was just, you got to look for the things that work well. And in positive psychology, there's a thing called WWW, and it's not a website. What's working well? It's another twist on gratitude. What's working well? And within the hardship, you got to look for that. And that's a way to cope through the bad.
Yeah.
Keep talking, so I got to stop.
I love that. I love that, because you got to look at what's going well, what's going good, because I always say this. The good news is, that's my favorite phrase, in spite of all the bad things, there is so many more blessings. There's so many more good things that are happening. If we were to weigh it on a scale, we would be tipping hugely to the good. We're alive. We're we're cared for. There's so many good things that you and I could talk about right in the midst of all that. And I think that people do need to shape their perspective based on that because it's a choice you do. It's a choice you make every day. And when you look for the good, you're going to find it. When you look for the problems, you're going to find them, right, Harriet? You're going to find all the misery in life if that's what you're looking for.
Of course. It you know I don't have it in front of me, but the quote from Mr. Rogers, there's a quote, famous quote where when things were bad and he would ask his mother, I'm going to really botch it up. And his mother would say, no matter what's going on, always look for the helpers. There are always helpers. So the news could say everything is bleak, but there's always also the helpers. And that's something to always keep in mind. And another metaphor, another comparison that I like is the rose. You know, there's the rose and then there's the thorns. So there are those people who will pass by and oh, the rose is pretty, but you know, look at the thorns. Don't get too close. You're gonna get pricked. It's gonna hurt you. And then there are those who say, yeah, there are the thorns, but we could be careful and we can maneuver so that we can get closer to the beauty of the rose. So again, it's like you say, Russ, it's perspective, but we could work on our perspective and we can work on our mindset. You know, there are people who say, I have a friend and it's funny because people will say, how are you friends with that person? He's such a Debbie Downer. I don't know. He's a Debbie Downer philosophically, but in his personality, he's kind of funny. But anyway, he would be the type of person who would look and say, everything is an issue. Everything is an issue. And I would say, but Richie, you could choose to see it differently. He said, what are you talking about? This is just who I am. And people think like that. They just say, this is who I am. And I look and say, that's a victim mentality. This is who you are. This is how I was born. You have more resilience. That's how you were born. And I don't espouse to that at all. Right. At all, because we could become more. We could grow more into it. I'm not saying we're going to turn from an A personality into a B, but within who we are, of course we could up ourselves from 1% to 1.5%, from 1.5% to 2%. It's all how you view it. Foundationally, do you believe in that concept of a growth mindset? Yes, right. I can make small changes. And if you believe you can't, to me, that's a victim mentality.
Oh, totally. I agree 100%. And, you know, it boils down to every day, like I say, title of my new book, life happens and then we choose, because you get to choose where you go. And people constantly, Harriet, say to me, I can't choose my life. Oh, yes, you can, because things are going to happen to you all the time that you can't control. I totally get that. I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what life is dealing you, but how you perceive that, how you refine that, how you take and fill those cracks with beautiful gold, or just let them totally destroy your life is your choice. It's up to you. And so today I want to encourage everybody to listen to what Harriet's saying and to connect with her. Harriet, I want you to give everybody your gold nugget. We got to wrap it up. I've let the show go over just a little bit because I just love what you're talking about, but give everybody your gold nugget, what you want them to remember from today. And then how do we get in touch with you?
The gold nugget, choose to choose. Choose to choose. It's always available for you to choose a different way. You have to realize it's there for you to make that choice. And how to get in touch with me is my email, Harriet and my website, rebuildlifenow.com. Harriet at rebuildlifenow.com, because that's the whole thing, is we want to rebuild our lives through whatever it is we're going through, physically, emotionally, mentally.
Amen. Amen. And that information magically appeared below you as you were speaking. So everybody can click on that, go right to Harriet. And I'm telling you, you are going to be blessed by this wonderful lady when you get a chance to talk to her more. So I highly, highly encourage you to connect with Harriet. Get a copy of her book on Amazon. And it's just, you'll be blessed. Harriet, thank you so much. I'm going to say goodbye to you and wrap the show up, but hang tight in the green room and I'll be right there.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. All right. If I could click the right button, we'd be in good shape. Hey, everybody. It is so amazing to have you all here today. And I am just so thankful. I'm just so thankful that you're here. And, Mondays are a good start to learn how to reshape your mindset, because so many people, like I said at the beginning of the show, look at it as a negative when it's really a positive if you choose to make it there. And as Harriet said, choose to choose, and choose to choose positively. Choose to choose that's going to help you live a better life. Why not live your best life now? If you are letting yourself be ripped apart by what life is doing, what is that going to do to you? That doesn't make your life very enjoyable. Doesn't make your life much of a blessing for you or for others. So I'm telling you, today, you need to get out there and choose to choose positively and let people know how much you appreciate them. When you encourage and inspire other people, it encourages and inspires you. It does. And so I am just thankful you're all here today. And until we see you again, I just pray you're going to have your best life. You can see us here every Monday and Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time now, Pacific Standard Time, 8 a.m. every week. Also, have other shows throughout the week. So if you go to russhedge.com, you can get all the lineup, all the information on the live streams. You can find out more information about my coaching, about my keynote speaking, about whatever I can do for you to bless you and make you inspired and a better person. And so I encourage you to do that. Connect with me at russhedge.com. I'd love to actually have a chat with you. You can go to russhedge.com/connect or /contact. russhedge.com/contact, which is on my website, russhedge.com. And you can actually schedule time on my calendar to Zoom with me. I would love to do that. I would love to connect with you. And so today, have a blessed day and a blessed life. And until we see you again, which is this Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, have a great life. We'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. Be sure to subscribe in your favorite podcast app so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an amazing day.